So, I was thinking and kind of like just like contemplating, and I was wondering like if I ever actually had experienced like real love in my life, and the resistance to even, admitting the desire to experience love is so real because, when you're an adult, it's always like, oh, you don't need anybody, you don't need anything, you shouldn't be like searching for love, you shouldn't be looking for love anywhere except for within yourself and all of that stuff. But like, imagine going through your entire fucking life never having the love that you have for yourself reflected in your environment. Like, can you imagine what that would do to your fucking brain? What that would do to you as a person, to never actually see the truth of who you are reflected in your environment. Like, do you know how damaging that is? And then to constantly hear the sentiments of like, oh, you can do it all by yourself, get it out the mud, you don't need no help, you don't need no nothing or whatever the fuck, and like you could just do it all by yourself and all of that stuff. And it's it's fucked up, and it's funny because like I come to realize that I never experienced like actual love without performance, without the need for being perfect, without the need for being, exactly what a child should be, which is, seen and not heard. And then you get all the praise and all of that stuff. So long as you don't need anything, so long as you don't want anything, because nobody really wants to take care of you when you're a kid. At least not when I grew up, where I grew up, and all of that stuff. And so, because nobody wanted to take care of me, I tried to be, as small as possible and remove myself as a obstacle in everybody else's life as much as possible. And then on top of that, the hypervigilance of me taking care of my siblings because, I was the reason why an adult was removed from the home, adds to the stress. And so, all of that. And I come to realize like there were some instances in my fucking childhood and like my teenage years that I just felt so fucking helpless because it's not that I didn't have the power to fight back, it's just that I was always expected never to fight back when it came to these instances and these situations. And then, it was taken, how you blow things out of proportion? It was like the opposite of that. It was like taken as, oh, it's nothing, this is a normal thing that happens or whatever the fuck. And I'm not supposed to respond. So if, one of my siblings would hurt me, I wasn't supposed to hit them back or, anything like that, which I guess technically that's right or whatever. But it was more so like I was the one getting reprimanded for how I responded. Like I wasn't supposed to yell, I wasn't supposed to do nothing. there there's this big ass bird flying in the sky that just like popped up over the trees out of fucking nowhere. Anyways, that distracted me. But it was just one of those things where I just felt so helpless. And I felt in those moments where I was being reprimanded for something that was done to me. And, then it's always like, oh, why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? Why don't you like to be around the family? And all of that stuff. And it's just like, I never actually, like, I had my own room for a very, very short amount of time during the time that I was there. I never really got to rest. I never really got to like dive in and like completely absorb myself into too many things because there was always interruptions. And you can't really process life. You can't really live without having that time to kind of like having long stretches of time where you get to like kind of reflect and be to yourself and all of that stuff. And it was constantly being bombarded with everybody else's fucking needs, everybody else's fucking problems, and by the time I got to the end of the day I couldn't even solve my own. And it was so internally damaging because even now the outside world is just like, oh, well, you shouldn't be looking for people to, be this for you or that for you. You shouldn't be looking for support. You shouldn't be looking for this. You shouldn't be looking for that or whatever the fuck outside of yourself. But the thing is like there are limitations to the individual person. Like I can't rest and take care of the children at the same time. Like, if I need more sleep, I'm going to need someone to watch them so that I can sleep. So I can't be, that best friend or that nanny or whatever it is to myself. At the same time, I need to give something to myself. And the thing is like, it's so frustrating having been traumatized by people on such a deep fucking level in every aspect, not just it with like family, but with friends, with jobs, all of these fucking things. It was so triggering because it's like everyone keeps telling me that, my perception of reality is wrong. I kept running into that over and over from, my childhood years and on. And I'm trying to figure out like why nobody understands me, not why nobody sees me, why, I'm feeling like I am dying, drowning. I couldn't breathe. And I'm like in an extreme deficit of love and care and support that, is something that's supposed to be natural when you come in. And, most people get to have like friends or whatever, or they have at least one family member or something like that, that they can be real with or whatever. I haven't had any of that. I haven't had a single real fucking person in my fucking life. And reflecting on that is kind of insane. It's kind of crazy. Like, I never got to just have, a childhood where it was just like, okay, well, if you just leave me alone for a little while, then I'll figure out my life. I'll figure out the whole college thing and all of that. No, it was just like, I was constantly being bombarded with, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to clean this, you need to do laundry, you need to do this, you need to do that. I was basically like a whole other, like, I was taking care of everybody else's shit. The other kids weren't taught to clean up after themselves. It was just expected that I would do it. It was like, oh, well, the other kids get told that they should clean up after themselves, but it's expected that I do it every time when they don't. Like, I make up for, their shortcomings, even though they reached an age where they were old enough to do it for themselves. And it was so fucking frustrating. And it's so stressful even now. Like, bro, I've been on this fucking planet 32 years and I'm exhausted. I'm tired and I'm fucking fed the fuck up. I don't want to do this shit no more. Like, they keep telling, they say that it gets better and all of that shit, and I'm not gonna like, but it's just one of those things, like, deep down in my fucking self, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. I have not actually been given support without somebody like holding it over my head, without like, oh, here, I'm gonna give you this, I'm going to allow you to like be a part of my community, but you have to follow my religion, you have to follow my rules, you have to do whatever it is that I want you to do, and if you can't do those things, then you can't be part of my community. And it didn't even like, it wasn't money or anything like that. It was just to be around them. I had to conform to their fucking religious belief system or anything like that. And I absolutely hate that. I am a free will person. Like, you can believe whatever the fuck you want or not believe whatever the fuck you want. But I hate it when people try to like force me into that shit, which is one of the reasons why I was not able to actually build or become part of any sort of community. I've been like isolated my entire life, even around people, because people don't like to let other people just believe and live however the fuck they want, so long as they're not hurting anybody else. And it's so fucking frustrating because then it's just like, I have not had warmth from anywhere. It's always been cold, or it's like turned sour in like so quickly, and then it was straight into the mental battle of like constantly being gaslit and told that my experiences were wrong. And I had that since I was a child, that my experiences were wrong. They were trying, it was almost like they were trying to erase my memory by retelling the story from their own perspective, or what they wished happened, or what they want me to remember, so that then I think that it's me that's the problem the whole time. And then I just continued to run into people like that my whole fucking life, and like fucked me up mentally for like being around other fucking people. And it's fucking crazy thing to kind of like realize. I'm fucking tired, bro.